So I've had a YouTube since 2007. Following the theme that my videos have had since then, I'm going to be talking about something that annoys me today. Something that has been recently bothering me is this trend of articles that focus on how social media is destroying dating. I'm going to be focusing or picking on this article called 18 Ugly Truths About Modern Dating That You Have to Deal With. This was published 2 days ago by some lovely man with the name Christopher Hudspeth. I'm only going to pick out some of my favorites. Number 1. The person who cares less has all the power. Nobody wants to be the one who's more interested. What does that have to do with social media? Number 2. Little psychological games like intentionally takes hours or days to text back will happen. They aren't fun. What makes you think that back in the old days people didn't not respond to each other's letters for like days to try to impress the other person and try to make it seem like they didn't care as much? I'm pretty sure that like human behavior is not completely dependent on social media. Whether or not you have an iPhone has nothing to do with how good of a partner you are. Number 3, a person being carefree because they have zero interest in you looks exactly like a person being carefree because they think you're amazing and are making a conscious effort to play it cool. Good luck deciphering between the two. What does that have to do with modern dating? I'm a little confused, Christopher. I just think that people throughout history have also looked like they're not interested. It's not a very modern concept. I've only been around for 20 years, but I think it's safe to assume that people have always done things like played hard to get, and I'm gonna make you think that I care less than I do. Okay, this one is my favorite. Number 4, making phone calls is a dying art. Chances are most of your relationship's communication will happen via text, which is the most detached, impersonal form of interaction. Get familiar with those emoticon options. First of all, let's take it backwards. Emoticons are pretty cute. Have you seen the little animals? Like the little pigs and the little cow? Who doesn't want to wake up to like a little heart? You find phone calls in art form? Like, I think that assumption is actually pretty modern. Where are we drawing the line here? What is art? What is dating? What is modern? What is life? What is Christopher? I really like texting. It's really convenient. I think it's really expressive. I am dating in the modern age. I haven't found any of these problems. I'm wondering if it's just something that people who aren't good at relationships like to blame that on. With every one of these, I was just imagining Matthew McFadden on his horse in Pride and Prejudice ignoring a text from Elizabeth Bennet because he wants to make her think that he's not thinking about her. That was modern. You know that would happen. The only difference between your actions being romantic and creepy is how attractive the other person finds you. That's it. That's all. Okay, on the surface this might sound legitimate. There are definitely people who I have thought were creepy, who I may not have thought were if they were a little hotter, but that was me in 8th grade. I feel that I'm much more mature than that person now, so I don't really think that that's good advice. Someone who is very attractive could also be extremely creepy. That doesn't mean that that person is good for you. That is all kinds of problematic. Social media creates new temptations and opportunities to cheat. The private messaging and options for subtle flirtation, liking of pictures, aren't an excuse or validation for cheating, but they certainly increase the chances of it happening. If you were that tempted to cheat because someone liked your picture, you are not a worthy partner to begin with. Next. Social media can create the illusion of having options, which leads to people looking at Facebook as an attractive people menu instead of a means of keeping contact with friends and family. Sorry, sir, Christopher, do you have sources for this? You aren't likely to see much of someone's genuine, unfiltered self until you're in an actual relationship with him or her. Generally, people are scared that sincerely putting themselves out there will result in finding out that they're too available, too anxious, too nerdy, too nice, too safe, too boring, not funny enough, Any person you get romantically involved with, you'll either wind up staying with forever or breaking up with them at some point. These are equally terrifying concepts. Okay! People can cut ties over the phone and avoid seeing the tears stream down your face or end things via text and avoid hearing the pain in your cracking voice. Didn't you read Pride and Prejudice? Darcy and Bingley took off without saying a word, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have Facebooks, unless there's some version of the book I'm missing out on. In that case, Send it over! I just don't think that social media can be blamed for these things. It wouldn't even upset me that much if like all of my friends weren't sharing these types of articles. Your relationship is doomed because you met on Facebook. Your relationship is doomed because you use 25 emojis a day and you can only use 24. Yes, you're not getting married. Be prepared for a text breakup.